All right, so I had a conversation yesterday um, about if you ever really know what you truly look like. And it made me think back to the first time I looked in the mirror and feel like I actually saw myself. Now, I'll get back to that later. But so the conversation was based around like, do you know what you look like? I said, and only came to this really understanding more recently, that I don't think you do. I don't think you actually know because the only way we've ever seen ourselves is through a distorted lens. One, the lens that we look at in the mirror, or the reflection that we see in the mirror is not true, right? It's a reflection, but it's distorted, it's backwards, it's all these things, right? And then when we look at a camera, that's also backwards and distorted and depending on the lens and all these other things, right? Which can totally skews off what someone else sees from them looking at you. Like you never see yourself how someone sees you. And then on top of that, I feel like your inner self also distorts how you see yourself in your reflection. So if you have a lot of insecurities, or if you have a thought about the thing that's already distorted, then you're just going to see the distortion, which is why I feel like so many times what we say about ourselves, someone, a friend, a person, is often usually saying something different, like, oh no, but you look great, or oh no, girl, XYZ. Or as a photographer, me, when I'm looking at the subjects that I capture, I'm always seeing something very different, and they're always picking out the things that I'm like, I get, but I don't see it really, for the most part. And so I started to understand this a little bit more, especially when I was building out the barbershop. And I came in touch with someone who created this mirror called the True Mirror. And I wanted it to be in my piece because the piece in itself was about self reflection, about healing, about seeing yourself, about all the things. And so he built this 90-degree angle mirror that allows you to see yourself truly how someone is looking at you, because we just have never seen, I mean, how can we see ourselves that way? We're always here on this side. And so it allows your eyes to connect with yourself. I didn't realize that when I'm looking in a regular mirror, I'm not really looking within. I'm seeing myself, but I'm not connected to my eyes. And so I remember standing in this mirror and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm beautiful, which is wild because I don't really think I say that to myself often, or I hadn't. And it just came out. And it was a weird experience, um, just because it wasn't because I looked different. It was because I saw myself. It was strange. I can't even explain it. If you don't know about the True Mirror, please go look it up, check it out. If you have the chance to experience it, please do. Um, and it's also funny because when we first got the mirror, my team, we were all very nervous about opening it up and being confronted with what we might see. Would we like ourselves? Would we see something different? And so and I also started to practice more affirming affirmations around what I felt about myself, that I'm beautiful. And I really do think since then I've started to see myself differently. Also a eye-opening experience as well, because I'm like, well, nothing really happened. Even if I lost a couple pounds or gained whatever way, there was nothing drastic that happened. So I'm seeing the same version of me that has existed, but yet I see myself as more beautiful than I've ever seen myself. And I'm like, well, that's been the same person who's been there this whole time. And because my inner self has shifted, my mindset has shifted, then who I see is also shifting. But I still don't think that you actually have ever seen what you look like. It's always distorted. So just remember that. When someone calls you beautiful and you don't think it, when someone says something like, especially positive and uplifting, that is very opposite of how you think of yourself, sometimes that might just be giving you the nudge of like what the world is actually seeing.